So we're assessing that situation. We are deployed in the north. We are vigilant and responding to each and every act of aggression by Hezbollah.
Joe, I guess we expect this is going to be much more brutal than the 50-day war that we saw in 2014, probably going to be longer with a bigger death toll. But the end of the day, the IDF wants to completely destroy Hamas. Do you think that can be achieved?
Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I do, Pete. Look, Netanyahu has decided to destroy Gaza. He's already turning half the place into rubble. The question is who's going to rule it later on. Probably be an Israeli occupation. And what I fear is, and we have 2 aircraft carrier groups there, Pete, that this thing's going to morph into something worse. There are Iranian-backed militias in Iraq. There are Iranian-backed militias in Syria. Iran is threatening something. Even the president of Turkey has made motions in this direction. I think the hostages are lost. I think they are collateral damage. And we are looking at a war. It won't last a long time. And the Senator Graham from South Carolina is bragging in Israel today that he's going to remove Iran's oil business. And so, if you want to invest in oil futures, this is the time. Oil is going to go up and everything. But look, America's in a fighting mood. There are a lot of people who think there's unfinished business. And keep this in mind. The man who's directed all this violence, this Hamas leader in Israel, is one of the 6,000 prisoners who was traded a number of years ago with one Israeli soldier. So how did that work out? So look, These guys, they got murder on their minds. And the Israelis, they're not a professional army, Pete. They're citizen soldiers. And they've seen what Hamas has done to them in their homes, villages, and cities. And I think they're coming with a little different motive. It's too bad for the hostages. It's all very tragic. But look, we've reached the point of no return. And I'd say that the odds of war are probably 6-5.
Pierre, good to see you. Thanks for your time this evening. The evacuation of Sderot set to begin ahead of a Gaza ground operation.
Right, it started and it's over, I would say, because in a small city of 30,000 inhabitants, maybe 10% of the residents have decided to stay nonetheless. And the rest of the population has either left voluntarily already some 8 days ago after the onslaught by Hamas terrorists on the city, and the rest, those who didn't have the wherewithal, didn't have families to host them, have been shipped to safer places in the country. with the help of the municipality, but they have a budget only for 7 days of evacuation. That means that if the government doesn't allocate more monies, they will have to return because they're in hotel rooms and hotels cannot survive the economic cost of hosting those people for a longer period of time at this point. So the city is basically invested now by security forces and lone residents, and I've seen them, and they're in a terrible shape. They have a tormented gaze. Most of them are on social welfare. They're isolated people. They're not married. You have some elderly also who decided to stay. And as a result, maybe as a result of that, rocket fire has ceased in this city since 11 a.m. on Monday, local time, maybe because there's no point in kicking a dead body, so to speak, although the city is not destroyed, but there's been a lot of rocket fire on the city. It's been quite martyred by rocket fire, 367 rocket launch on Sderot, 132 impacts. And as a result of the onslaught, because the terrorists managed to enter the city, there's been 44 dead in the city. Residents, civilians, non-residents who came for the holiday, civilians, security forces, be it police, soldiers, firefighters, who died trying to repel the Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorists.